There we go. What is up, everybody? I gotta pull up
What's
the chat.
up? I
How's
was
everybody
just looking
doing?
through the comments, all the people that are here.
Are they? I'm trying to like. I had everything unplugged. That kind of like messed up when we started, but here we are. Oh yeah, there we go.
Froggy
Froggy.
Beluga.
Yeah. Refrigeration Devil, Mechanical Environments, Jason Johnson, Mike B, the Nasties in the house. This guy HVAC guy's in the house. And C Young. What's up, everybody? Yeah. So we're gonna be down a night. Jake had some family things to do, so he will be missing tonight's show. But here we are. What is up, everybody? And I hope everybody's doing good. I had my first slow day today. I don't know about you. You've been busy still,
Yeah, it's been abnormally cold for this time of year, and
dude.
this
Tell me
morning
about it.
it was below freezing this morning, so I was busy today.
So you're getting like what 20s or colder?
No, not 20. That's that's rare. It does
Oh,
happen.
okay.
Just below freezing,
Just right
30.
below, because it is hot as hell during the day. It's like 75, but like at night it's like 40, or it might be in the 30s because our wind chill is pretty bad. But yeah, it goes away by like lunchtime.
Yeah, as about as cold as I have seen it here ever. It's been like 17 degrees.
Uh, we had that one freeze where it was at about that temperature, and now don't want it to come back anytime soon.
Yeah, that's kind of brutal. If there's any moisture around, that is brutal.
Oh well, see, that's the thing. Like, it doesn't get, because I tell people like, oh, it only gets to like 50 or whatever, and then sometimes like recently at night it gets 40s, but the wind chill, the moisture in the air, because we always get, or it never fails. We get the coldest weather, but it always has to be raining or drizzling. Like, we never get just regular cold weather. So there's always
Yeah,
like moisture, there's always rain, there's always something, and it just makes it feel like way worse than it
just
should be.
just moisture in the air. I spent some time up in the mountains of West Virginia, and the cold we had there, it was like 10 degrees, but there was no moisture in the air. So out in the sun, we were warm. It was a completely different kind of cold. It was, if you run around with a jacket on, you get hot and sweaty. It was different. It was just no moisture whatsoever.
Yeah, it's different in every region. Like, you have to be there to know what it's about. Because I went up to Mechanical Environments is in here. Went up to Denver, and we got to go eat with them and everything. And it got super windy, and I was like, I can't. Like, it was probably in the 20s or something like that, and I was like, no, I want to go back inside. I'm not gonna do this. It's really nice in the sun though. Like when we were there during when we're out during the day, like we walked around town, uh, in the different like art districts or whatever they're called, and walked through like some of these central markets and we got some really good food out there, and it was really nice when it was sunny. Then it was warm enough to be walking around in that weather. As soon as you get in the shade or as soon as nighttime hit, I couldn't. I was like, I was all in my different layers and everything, and I still couldn't take it.
I spent about a week in New York City during the winter, and the wind would just blow right down your clothes. It was bone chilling. The wind was, and I saw why everybody wore a scarf. It was to keep the wind from going down their
Oh, that's right.
shirts or jacket, and you had to have one.
Yeah, when we were up there, I regretted not taking like a face shield or something because it would get to me. Didn't need there they are. Didn't need a winter coat today. It was a good day. I saw them post. I don't know if it was yesterday or something that they were like working on a unit that was like covered in snow.
Dude, I don't even own a winter coat.
Yeah, I
What
have
he's
to.
talking about, a winter coat, I don't even have one.
No, I don't have any of that stuff either. When we went up there, we're like, oh crap, we need beanies, we need gloves, and we need all this, and we had to like look through the towns to like actually buy something because I was like, I don't have any of that stuff.
You don't have a beanie?
I got like a beanie in the work van just in case, but like I didn't take it with me. I don't have one readily available. It doesn't get that cold
Yeah.
here. And the only time I use it is when it gets cold for work because we work, early in the mornings.
On the
And then
roof.
yeah, if it's cold out, that's when it's going to be the coldest, or if I'm working in a freezer, but not really. I don't know. I don't wear beanies that much.
I wore one this morning. I was kind of cold this morning.
Are you running like no heat calls or something? Didn't you have one? Was
Actually,
it today that I skimmed through it? There was like a heat pump that was acting up or something.
no, there was actually nothing wrong with it, and
Yeah,
there were lots of suggestions in the video that there could have been something wrong, but there wasn't nothing wrong. It's just this was just a plain old regular single speed heat pump, and when they get close to freezing, the heat pump's not very efficient.
yeah.
The- It's not a inverter driven variable speed or a two speed. It's just one speed heat pump. When it gets close to 32 degrees, actually below 40, they become inefficient. And it and if it don't have the heat strips on, it can feel like it's blowing cold air.
Did it
And
not
that's what
have?
they were complaining about.
And it doesn't have heat strips.
Oh, it has heat strips. It's just when the thermostat gets close to the set point, it drops out the heat strips because
Oh, okay.
that's second stage. And
Yeah,
it tries to rely just on the heat pump, and it can feel like it's blowing cold air, even though it's warmer than room temperature air.
oh,
It's
okay. Because
just,
that's yeah. I got to see like the beginning and then like the end of it because I didn't get to watch the whole thing. So like it was running, but it was already close
yeah,
enough. Okay.
yeah. It's like it was like at night they would have it at a set temperature, and it never would get satisfied. It would just run and run and run and run. It's relying on the heat pump and not the heat strips, and you're only getting a temperature difference of about 8 degrees.
Mm.
So yeah, it kind of feels cool.
Yeah, it's like me in the morning trying to warm up my truck. I'm like, man, it's blowing cold air. I never felt it. Um, yeah, that's why like I would be okay getting a heat pump eventually in this house because we don't get below 40 very often. Like we're pretty good or well above that. And I'm like, yeah, we're good here.
Well, some of the new heat pumps, like that Gree, I
Yeah.
think they can go down to like some negative degrees and still produce 100-degree air. I mean, they're really good about producing high heat at low temperatures.
Unless you want to get a Navian hydro furnace. I was talking with Blue Collar Built because his name is also Jake, but he lives up in that Jersey area. Like where they deal with boilers and all that like year round, right? So he's like, dude, he's like, I'm excited to buy one, and we need that for our house because they need the hydronic heating. I was like, I couldn't see myself putting one in because I don't need it here, but in some places they do.
But yeah, isn't that just a tiny little hydronic water furnace to heat up the air?
Yeah, it's not connected to a water source, or it doesn't have to be. You just fill it up, and it should I don't know. The efficiency on it, they said was very good, and you rarely have to top it off. It's just to help it heat better in those colder climates.
So you're heating water to heat a heat exchanger to heat air. That sounds real inefficient.
I'll have to look back because he explained it, but I was like, it was going over my head because uh, yeah, I mean, that's basically what it is. And I was like, I don't need it. It's not something that we use here. It's a radiator. refrigeration devil. Basically,
When I heard about them, I thought that it's made by a company that makes water heaters. So they've made a furnace that is actually a water heater furnace. It don't make any sense. They need to just stick to water heaters.
they're gonna make a condenser for it very soon. They're gonna have a whole HVAC system. I don't know
No,
when it's coming out, but they're going all in.
isn't that the company that what's his name got in a lawsuit with?
Is that the one? Yeah. I forgot.
Mike.
That's the one he does. Yeah, that's the one he had issues with, right?
Yeah,
I don't remember
and
what happened.
I I quit following the channel, so I don't know what happened either.
Like, I don't know. Or like, what does he use instead?
Let me
Uh,
see. I'm reading your comments too.
I was gonna pull up. Ask Curtis what a typical lifespan of a mobile home electric furnace is.
Oh my God. Well, actually, they've made some improvements in some of them recently, but most of them are downflows with the evaporator coil on the top. So when the drain gets backed up, all the water flows down on that nice electric furnace.
Oh,
And so your sequencers and your electrical components and everything, they fail prematurely.
gotcha.
But I have seen some recently that are upflows, and that's a nice improvement over what we've seen in the past.
Oh, there you go. Damn. Let me look through the. Oh, look. Yes, we're missing Jake. He had a family Christmas something with the kids, so he's not gonna make it tonight.
Yeah, Jake's missing. We'll
We
hold him accountable.
the life of the party's not here. Um, I feel like that's a redundant question. Who picks DeWalt?
Hmm.
Yeah. The only DeWalt thing I have is a light, flashlight that I just bought, which I do like.
I've
But
got a fan. I've got a DeWalt fan, but I run a Milwaukee battery on it.
are they interchangeable or something?
No, no, no. You got to get a little adapter like you did for your NAVAC
Okay.
pump.
Cause I was, oh, that's right. Never mind. Cause I was watching the other vacuum pump videos, and those take both, but I think they have that adapter as well. Like they give you the adapter with it. The Uniweld pump. What is
Wow.
up, Steve?
Yeah, we're missing Jake tonight. It's kind of a bummer because he's always saying or doing something crazy.
He's the loud one.
Dude, I bought some DeWalt tools one time.
Mm-hmm.
I think I used them once and I gave them away.
They were that bad.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm trying. Well, I had to buy some Klein tools recently to finally replace like some old ones I had. And man, I don't like to be in the lows too long because I want to buy everything. Because right now they have all the Klein stuff on display for the holidays, and I don't know if there's any deals going on right now, but like you just see them when you walk in.
I'm becoming a believer in some of this Knipex. I've got some pliers by Knipex that I really like.
Have you seen? Are they the pliers wrench or what kind of? Are the Cobras or?
Just like 12-inch pliers, slip handle.
Okay, but is it the flat jawed or the one with the grip on it, the teeth?
It's got grips, it's got teeth on it.
Those oh yeah, my dad loves those. My dad was always a Knipex guy for like the because he deals with all the gas fittings and everything, so that was his go-to. Um, I don't know if you've seen that Klein is in the plumbing tools now. So they got
I've heard.
pipe wrenches. I just saw it the other day, the display. The pipe wrenches, they have pliers wrench, some really nice ones, and tube cutters, and like a whole there was a whole wall of new tools dedicated to plumbing.
Oh, I've had their pliers wrench, the reversible bottom piece.
Well, now they got a dedicated one. It's an orange handle. It's like they make them in like different sizes now.
Oh,
They're trying to be like
I
Knipex. That's what they look like. And they have the same it's basically the same style. Yeah, mechanical. I love my Knipex tools.
they are high quality tools. I give them that. I've been preferring Klein all these years because it's an American company, and but that Knipex stuff is pretty good. I'll give them that.
Yeah, but those are the ones you get pissed when you lose. Because we had they're not cheap. Um we would always buy the pliers, and it was like a set like of two that you would get at the supply house. And we would buy them for our guys, and we had this one guy that kept losing them. He lost them like twice in a row. And we're like, we're not gonna buy you those anymore. We're gonna get you some other ones. Keep leaving them at the damn job site. Yeah, they are
Well, tell me
expensive.
about tell me about some of your jobs you've been
I,
working on.
it's been boring, if I'm gonna be honest. Today was my first slow day, so I had a lot of office work to catch up on. No, but like since it's gotten cold, it's been a lot of like low ambient issues. So like fan cycle controls and a lot of walk-in freezers. They're calling worried about the equipment because they ice up. I'm like, okay, well, check it out. They don't have enough charge, or like I said, the fan cycle, pressure switch, something like that. And I have a few that I keep telling them. I don't know. You used to do like kitchen refrigeration at some point, right? Like
I've done
the
some.
have you ever dealt with the delivery guys that beat up the walk-in coolers?
No.
Dude, they will come in there, swing the door open, break the hinges, then they like tie either with a bungee or something, they tie the door so that it stays open and it's like forced open so they can come in and deliver like product and all that. And I got to go there after, and I always that's one of my questions that I ask when I go, and it's like something odd. I'm like, by any chance did you have a delivery, recently? Because like something looks off, right? Something, the door's messed up or something, or they have an iced up coil, but I can't find anything wrong with it. And sure enough, it's usually a delivery guy. So like recently, I went to two locations like last week, and the doors are shot. And they're like, "What can you do?" I'm like, "Dude, this door, like the frame is messed up. Like you need to tell your delivery guy to ease up on the door, right?" And they're like, we tell them, but they don't care. They just some driver comes in, they got to drop off all this stuff, and they're doing it in a hurry, and they beat up all their equipment.
Sometimes they're coming in the middle of the night and they're not even there.
Yeah, yeah. I've been called early in the morning, and I'm like, and then I ask them, and they're like, "Yeah, we had a delivery in the middle of the night." I'm like, "All right, let me check it out." To a hammer. I don't know. They're talking
My
about hammers.
oh, did I hammer anything?
Oh, well, Jake almost did. I don't know what he's going to do with that leak detector.
I know what he needs to do with it.
Hey, what's up, Hunter? Um, yeah, that thing was acting weird when he had it.
It just wasn't working. That's what they do.
Did you have
Oh,
flashbacks?
no, they're great. It's a hugely expensive leak detector, and then after about 3 or 4 months, it just quits.
I kind of want to try one, but like seeing you and then Jake go through it, I'm like I can't justify the price.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
then at that point, what do they tell you to do? Like, is it the sensor or what do they do?
Well, with me, I had multiple sensor failures on the, and we're talking about the Stratus. I've
Hmm.
had multiple sensor failures. First, it would just kind of quit picking up a leak. And if you keep turning it on and keep trying, the screen will turn red and it'll say sensor failure. I had that happen multiple times. I had it happen so many times, I started carrying a spare sensor.
Yeah.
I mean, they're just junk. And who's the
Uh,
guy that swears by them?
oh, don't tell Rick anything. He'll fight you on it.
Oh, I'm sure he probably carries a spare sensor too.
He's
But they're just junk.
yeah, he's used them for a long time. They look nice. They look really well built and everything, but I've always been hesitant, and then like people have issues with them.
Well, it's a good idea, and it
Because
works for a couple months.
I had the D Tech. There you go. I think that's the one that I was talking about. Why does your name say Leroy Jenkins? C Young says a D Tech Select was or never failed him. That's the one I had. So we still have it somewhere in the shop. The only annoying thing was that it took a D battery. I think one. I don't know if it was one or two, but I think one that I never had on me if it died. And then when I turned it on, like if I was in the inside, it would beep for like a solid beep for 2 minutes while it warmed up. It was loud as hell. So I would always try to do it out in the van before I went in.
Well, I use the JB Prowler, and it has the option to turn the beeping off.
No, the DTAC Select had like two buttons on it. It was like on and off, and I don't know what else. That was it.
I
Or
have,
or you probably could mute it. I'm gonna look it up, but maybe not on warm up or something like that because I could never turn it off.
yeah, I just recently bought the DR82. I see somebody mentioning that. I'm gonna give it a try. That's the infrared one,
Yeah, because you had issues with the other model, right?
DR58. Yeah.
So have you used it?
No, not yet. I charged it up and put it in the van, and it's just been waiting to be used.
Oh man, I just used it. Forgot what I was checking. Oh, it was a like I've had a lot of like boring calls. Like that one, I had a leak because I went to a walk-in cooler that was out of town, and I was like, okay, let me go check it out. Initially, I got dispatched for like a under counter, and I get there and they're like, no, the walk-in. I was like, oh shit, okay, because I was in a hurry to get to another call, and I opened it up and I'm like, oh no, we got a low charge. You can see like it was icing up in the evaporator, like going in. And I went up on the roof, and sure enough, it was low. And I used my DR82, and it found it right away. But you can kind of tell where it was. There was no sign of it anywhere else. It was just this little flare connection for like the pressure switch. And I was like, okay, just tighten it up, charge
Well,
a couple.
do you have to put the leak detector right on the leak for it to go off?
It does like a little, like if you're near it or in the section, it'll give like a faint beep. But yeah, the closer you get is when you'll get the actual like for it going off and stuff. So I've had it's been like good and bad. Like I've had it to where I have to be right on it sometimes for it to pick it up. And sometimes it'll just I don't know. I've been doing this long enough. Like if you rely on it too much, I can see where it would trip up like a younger tech. But like if it goes off at all, like I already know what parts to check, right? Like I had
Yeah.
one in that video that I did for that new customer where it was leaking on that like the distributor off the TXV. Um, it was going off, and I was like, "Where the hell is it going off?" I couldn't. Right, I was like looking at the joints, the solder joints, and I was looking at other like the U bends and everything else, and then like it was like on that distributor, but on the back end. So like it kept going off. I just had to know where to look. I don't know if there's a leak detector that can do like here it is, point you to it. I have yet to see that except for the one that you have that I want to try is the ultrasonic.
Yeah.
That's the only one that
When
I
you,
want to try if I can like if I can't find a leak.
that's actually been very dependable.
Is
There's
that your is that your
some
go-to?
situations I bring it with me on every leak search.
Okay.
It's going to be one of the two that I take out.
How much is that one again? Is that like $1,000 or something?
Like 800.
Okay. Well, yeah, basically. But I think I'm gonna end up pulling the trigger on that one because I've been wanting it for a while.
Yeah, but it works. And I'm learning, like if you got a wet coil, it works better. And sometimes you
Oh
can
yeah.
pick things up. Sometimes you can hear the leak before you even get the microphone into the air handler. You can hear it.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I mean, for those hard to find ones, I would like to try it. Mechanical. Every leak detector I've had is hit or miss. I've never owned one that I can trust blindly. Which, yeah, me too. I've had the H10, the fill pieces, ultrasonics. They all have good and bad days. You just got to know where to look. That's
Yep.
your experience is always the best, way to find it. Jason Stratus for life. Well, I guess Jason swears by it too, right?
Hmm. No, they literally gave me one and I gave it away.
I was gonna say two of the three on this show, I think, are gonna say that's a pass.
No,
I
I
haven't
don't want
tried
to.
it yet, and I don't think I want to try it.
Well, it'll be great for about three months.
And
It'll
then
be
you start,
great.
and then you start to trust it, and then you're like, oh, I can't find a leak, and then find out you have a faulty detector. If you get the pressure high enough, you can hear any leak. Do you go by anything when you do a pressure test, or do you max out like 400 or whatever it is all the time?
Like after I do a repair and do a pressure test.
That on that, yes. I think on a leak search, I'm gonna purposely go up higher and higher, but like on a pressure test.
On a pressure test, 200, 250.
Okay.
Forgive me, my dog's running into my tripod. Um, but if I'm doing a leak and I have the ability to pressurize, I do pump it up pretty high
Do you look at
because
like what it's rated for, like the unit?
sometimes, yeah.
Because some people will just crank it up no matter what.
I ain't going above 500 though. I mean, and
Oh
almost
no.
nothing goes above 500.
No, but like at what point do you just create a leak? I think I've had that happen to me. Like you pump it up and you mess something up. I have to deal with, well, residential has them too now, the transducers and everything. You can't have them on and pressure test up to that kind of pressure.
Yeah. Now, I have seen where a failed condenser fan motor has caused a leak.
A
I've
failed
replaced a
motor, or would you say?
Yeah, cause head pressure to go high,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and once I replace the motor, I immediately find out it ain't got no freon in it.
I I I think that's what happens because I find a lot of condensers when they're microchannel and they don't get maintenance. You always find a leak on one of the inlets or in the corner of the coil or something like that. And I've been telling customers this is most likely lack of maintenance or a motor gives out. I had one when I did that late night three calls video recently. That one had a bad motor. I think that's what caused that coil to leak because the motor went out. And then it's dirty too. And I think the head pressure gets up so high and it just pops out somewhere. Because I've told customers like if you don't get maintenance. I mean, that's a possibility too. The pressure goes up so high, if especially if they're plugged up, and a leak's gonna spring somewhere. Especially on aluminum.
Dude, one of my first jobs, I repaired one of these climate tough compressors on a train. Excuse me, I replaced it. I get the thing up and running. I'm not even thinking about the coil on this thing. And I'm realizing that my head pressure is going way high and I'm weighing in the charge. So I pull off these covers that are covering up the coil. It had these plastic covers over it, and
Yeah.
it looked like carpet. I had to stop everything I was doing, clean off this coil thoroughly, and I'm sure that's what killed the compressor.
Uh, it's crazy. That's something you have to talk and explain to the customer. Like maintenance, cleaning the coil. It might seem like a simple, dumb thing to do, but your motors give out, your compressors give out, and I'm pretty sure it's a cause of most leaks. Um, I had one of those, but it was one of my guys, and it was a walk-in cooler. He went. I want to say it was a bad motor or something like that. It was a walk-in cooler, so two fans on the condenser, and he changed it out, and then he started jumping to other things, and then they called me to go help him out, and I got so pissed because started rinsing the coil and it was coming out black, like black, black, and it was a microchannel. I was like, dude, you're giving yourself all these issues. That's why your motors are giving out. That's why you're having. I think the compressor actually gave out on it, and he put the new compress. No, it was a compressor, not a motor. I'm sorry. He put a new compressor in, and it was still not working. Like it was struggling to bring down temp. And I'm like, dude, you can't put a compressor in and not check all these other things, right? You're gonna have issues.
You know,
So that's why it's so hard for me to hire people. But we might. I forgot to mention it last week. We might be expanding next year. Looking maybe to take on like two people.
are you trying to get into residential? What are you doing?
No, I can't. If I ever do residential, and I've told, because my uncle has played around with the idea that he can do it. I've told him and my dad, like, if we ever do residential, that's gonna be a whole other department that I'm not even gonna like. I don't want to do the work in it. Like we're gonna have somebody that does the residential work, and I'll just oversee it or something because I don't want to do it.
Why not? It's easy.
It's easy until it's not. I feel like yes, capacitors, motors, a lot of the common things, but then you get that customer that wants like something in the attic that is like crazy. I don't know. I watch you and I can't do some of the stuff that you do. I can't do attics.
Well, you,
What's
you
up,
learn
Ted?
to deal with it. If it's really hot, you don't stay up there for very long.
See, and that's how I am with commercial because I can be on a roof most of the day. I take my breaks here and there just to get out of the sun, but like I'm used to it. I'm okay with it. Other guys can't do it, but I don't know. That's what I'm used to. I feel like that's easier for me than an attic. I don't know.
You know,
But
an attic can be pretty hot. I've seen them 150 degrees, and it's like a sauna when you get in there. As soon as you stick your head up in the attic, you start sweating.
yeah. And I've dealt
And
with these, you know, I had older buildings that had attic spaces because they were like super old buildings and it was weird where they put some of the equipment and stuff. They even had some of the condensers. Well, when they have the condensers for the walk-ins indoors, they're usually up somewhere hidden. And those attic areas I didn't like because yeah, you get in there and you just are drenched already in sweat. But we are looking to expand to another location. That's why we're doing that because the customers that we do have right now, they're big national chains, and they are like begging my dad to do like there's a location. I think one is like 3 hours away, the other one's like 4 hours away, and I'm like, okay, well, if we had some guys that we could train, or no, I think we're looking for like experienced techs that we can kind of get in and kind of train up a little bit. They can run the calls over there, and we have guys that like want to work for us. So I don't know. We might end up doing that next year.
Good luck.
I am. We've had the headaches before of bad employees, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's always a gamble, isn't it?
Brian, if you came down here, I would hire you in a heartbeat. Just, I always tell people, just come on down to Texas. I need techs.
I've had people offer to work for me, and I'm like, no way.
Well, you got it made, but it's just you. Because the whole thing with
Yeah,
me is, if it was just me, or maybe just me and my brother, I would try a little bit harder to get like so much other stuff. I can't take on too much, at least like kitchen work. I can't take too much of it because then I give more work to my dad or my uncle or whoever's on that side, and they can't keep up right now. So they need help more than I do. So like if it was just my company, if it was just AC and refrigeration, I'd be running up or getting more customers on my own. I can't take on too many without giving them more work, and then it kind of screws up everything. I haven't heard this name in a long time. John Israel is looking to relocate.
really.
Is he still on YouTube?
I
I
don't think
haven't.
he's published anything in a while.
Okay, I was like, I haven't seen him.
I've been wondering how he's doing. I hadn't seen anything from him.
Well, that dude was posting quite a bit a couple years ago. Let me look through the comments real quick. Yeah, Ted, the attics can get, I would say, at least 130 degrees. Have you ever checked the
They,
temperature when you're up there?
I have. If you get into an unvented attic, you understand why they're vented because it gets brutally hot. I was in one time. The attic was so hot it was modifying the air in the ductwork by several degrees. I wasn't getting but like a 12-degree temperature drop because the attic was so hot.
Oh, that's
And
true.
um,
Yeah, because
and my fix was to put in a powered attic fan.
yeah, we've seen that around here. Like some people have to get the fans because their attic is just, and here we have like we have some spray foam and like a lot of insulation, so we're good. But like I've seen houses where they have to put the fan in just to help out the AC unit because it'll never
Yeah.
work right.
Some houses are designed that way. The load calculation includes an attic
Oh,
fan, which helps secure a certain temperature in the attic. And if the attic fan goes out, sometimes the air conditioner don't keep up.
mm-mm. Oh yeah. Steve, how's everything with the new job? He gave his last van tour and he said he was going on to something else. My office was 69. Okay. I was looking through the comments right now. I was looking at. I lost it.
I'm reading the comments about John Israel. I kind of like the guy because he and who was it, the Michigan Heating guy?
Uh huh.
Watching their videos are kind of what got me into making my videos.
There you go. It's always funny to hear, like, or fun to hear who people were, like, everybody that's doing YouTube right now or like anything, like, who were they watching? And then they got into it. John probably doing electrical in the rain. Refrigeration Devil had a new house without a vent in the attic. The heat would never work. No, in the attic heat, it would never work. So no vent.
You got to have some kind of ventilation down here. You got to.
I don't know where. I don't remember where he's from. Yeah, in here, like here too, we need that vent.
Feels.
They may let him travel soon. He's learning so much. Drinking fire, drinking from a fire hose at this point. Well, dude, like, and that's crazy because like all the stuff that he would do on his channel is stuff that I've never seen. He's dealt with a lot of variations of HVAC stuff, and now he's learning more. It's crazy.
Some of the commercial stuff that I see sometimes, to me, it looks so complicated. You got to call in a foreign office that might be in Michigan to change the set point on the thermostat. And that to me, that's just hoops that I don't want to have to jump through to change the settings on a thermostat. Um,
Oh, I had a
or they've got,
customer. I had a customer that had a whole train system put in. Well, like a 2 or 3 RTUs, and it had the. I always forget. I know the guys have corrected me. There's a whole communicating system to like their own thermostat inside, and it's like password protected, and it needs all this other stuff to get into it. I told the customer, I was like, I don't know how to get into it. So call the company that set it up, and because they were looking through their manuals, they have everything there, but like they couldn't find like how to get into it. I was like, I don't know either. But I just had to change like a motor or something. I was like, it's good. I just can't mess with the settings. I hate when stuff is like password protected. Like I like why? And then they do. What sucks is like if a company, I don't know. Oh yeah, Aon came to mind when you brought that up. Um, when a company changes the password on something, it's like they don't want the next company to come in.
dude, I quoted a Aeon makeup air unit, which was also like a reheat. It had compressors, it had gas heat on it, and it was all remotely controlled. That was a $60,000 unit, and it was basically just a makeup air unit.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So I briefly showed it. I think it was in that late night call that I had recently. The Aeons that I ran into, and that one I opened it, and I'm like, holy crap! I'm like, this is a little bit much for a fast food place, and it had like 3 smoke detectors in it, and we had issue with one of them. That middle unit, it looks identical to the next RTU, and I thought they had 3 RTUs, and then I opened it, and I'm like, oh, this is a makeup air, but it's like
Yeah,
it's crazy.
that's about all I see Aeon units doing around here. Makeup air. I mean,
Oh,
they've
that's
got
so.
another name brand doing the heating and cooling,
Oh,
but
but
I
they
see a
put the.
lot of Aeon makeup air units.
That's weird. I've never seen one. We've only dealt with the captive air, the ones that look weird. Well, they all look weird. I don't know. Refrigeration devil. EMS is a pain. Coles in Tennessee is controlled by a facility in Wisconsin. We had.
Yeah, I remember one time I was having a trouble. I was having trouble with one. It was on top of an Ulta beauty store, and the call was that they were having trouble with it keeping up the temperature in one of the rooms, and they couldn't tell me which room because they got all these remote sensors. They just know that one of them ain't keeping up. So I'm having to go out and ohm out these sensors and ended up replacing 2 of them. And I still couldn't get it to do right. And I can't read the temperatures on any of this stuff while I'm doing it. I have to call in and ask once I replace it.
Oh yeah, that's right. I've seen that before. We had a we had a customer that called us in. We didn't end up like staying with them, and they we were looking at a restaurant, and they had just had somebody do that where it's like a remote control situation. because I was like, where are your thermostats? And they're like, oh, up there, and it's like in the back room somewhere, and they're like, there's a line of thermostats on top, and I'm confused because I had never seen that, and I'm like, why are they up there? And they're like, oh, it's remote. Like we just had somebody put this in not too long ago, and this and that. I'm like, oh, I don't want to deal with that, you know?
Well, like in restaurants, sometimes what I often see are remote sensors and all the thermostats back in the office.
Which is a
And I'm
pain.
sure you've seen.
It's a pain. Old school, they would just put the thermostat in like the dining room or whatever it is, and they would have thermostats everywhere laid out. So the hardest part was like trying to figure out what wall they put it on or where they were. Then a lot of them switched over to putting them all in the office. Funny enough, a lot of them have been remodeled to do that. But whoever it depends on the contractor that they get. Because I have a couple of locations. Because I have one that's a pizza place, and that's how they all are. They're all like in the back. Like there's a wall that has three thermostats. I went to one. I'm like so confused. I'm like, okay, what's going on with this unit? Because it's not running, and I thought it was a thermostat. Pulled the thermostats off, and I was like, these have no sensors. There's no sensors whatsoever, hardwired or anything. So then I had to tell them. So like I worked on one, and I had to install and run wires for one. And I was like, look, I fixed that one because that one ran like from the back of the building to the front. It was for the front of the building. And there's three RTUs. And I was like, look, you're going to need these sensors for these other two as well. Because like you have them all over here. They satisfy. And then the other ones never turn on because the kitchen's always hot. Like it always needs to run. So yeah, no sensors. And then there's a couple of locations like that. And that's just how they put them in.
Oh
I don't know
my
how they
word.
ever worked, but they probably just kept like lowering them.
That sounds terrible.
And I had it happen the other way around too, where it would get too cold in the back room because they would lower them a lot to keep up with the kitchen in the front, but they were all there in the back, and I'm like, we got to relocate them or run sensors or something. So I've had it happen both ways. It's too hot in the front or too cold in the back.
Oh,
And that was a fun one because that was when I had just got them. Like we took over. I'm like, who was working on these before? Like they never did anything about it. Like who installed it and then who was servicing it?
yeah, that would be a tricky one to find because you're going to assume there's a remote sensor
I
somewhere.
Yeah, I learned not to assume that anymore because I've seen it at different customers play like it's something that somebody did here, I guess, to all these customers. Uh and I had another one that's the Honeywell. I don't know if it's the T something with the Wi-Fi sensor or wireless sensor that they come with. There's one that comes with the that you can do a sensor with.
Yes, there's several of them. Yeah.
So I had a location. They all died. I don't know why. So I ripped them out and a hardwired a sensor.
They had this red sense system that had all kinds of sensors and dehumidifiers and humidifiers and everything that all communicated together. Those were a little bit tricky.
I don't know. Like what I when I saw those wireless ones, I was like, look, you had like three of them die on you. Like three of the thermostats die. I was like, I can put like a super simple basic one and just hardwire a sensor. That's usually what I do. Unless they really want that wireless one. Some thermostats you need to download an app to start them up. I guess you would know more about that.
I haven't had to do that yet.
No, I figured on the residential side because like on my side I'm putting in like as old school as I can get, but it has like a digital display, but like has all the switches. Like that's what they prefer, a big display and something they can switch easily and tell if it's in cooling or heating.
Well, some of these thermostats aren't technically thermostats anymore. They're user interfaces. It's just a computer screen basically
Yeah.
for these communicating systems. And I imagine with those, you may have to download an app or something. I mean, they are complicated.
And that's what I always say. Everything's over engineered. We don't need all that. Let's see. O'Reilly's. Oh, they're talking about the communicating stuff.
Hmm. We had a fire behind our O'Reilly's in a commercial building right in the middle of town yesterday.
Oh, really? Did you see it or you just heard about it?
I drove by. It was a block off the main road, and the wind was blowing the smoke over the main road, and it was just thick, heavy smoke. It destroyed that building, but it didn't hurt anything else.
Oh, mechanical Wi-Fi stats are great after hours. You can turn the unit on from the roof. Oh yeah. Well, like that's why I was going to go that route and like give my customers um I don't know if it was like the Sensi thermostat or something like some of these thermostats where I could set them up and then have access to it. But then like I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. It's good in
I've
theory.
never, I've never given myself access to anybody's Wi-Fi thermostat.
It's good in theory because you can like check it before you get there or like when they call you. And I mean, it'll eliminate a lot of nuisance calls, but I don't know. I feel like it was going to be a big mess because I deal with, well, I'm sure they deal with a lot of customers too, but I was like, I don't trust my customers. I'll just get there and figure it out.
So mechanical environments, he's in Denver.
Yep. Him and it's Matt and Megan.
That's Mile High City.
Yeah, when we went, we did the whole like mountain tour and everything, and it's a beautiful place. There's a lot of good art if you walk around. Like everything has like murals and a lot of like art everywhere. A lot of good food. The food was great. It's just too damn cold.
I was born not too far from there. Don't remember a bit of it.
Which city
I
was
was
that?
born in Wyoming,
Oh, okay.
and Denver was like the closest city.
It's a great city. We took a like I said a tour. We went downtown. We went a lot of places and I was only supposed to go there for like a day, but I was like, well, I'll make a trip out of it. Any little business trip I get, I'm gonna have to turn or take advantage for like a vacation.
I don't get to very often. That's why I'm going to enjoy AHR.
That's what I was gonna say. Like you, well, we talked about it. You don't take vacations and time off,
No.
so that's your little vacation right there.
Well, I do take most of my weekends. That's my time off.
But you don't get out.
No, I don't get to get out.
And I think they got rid of the Atlanta one, so now
I
it's
know it.
Chicago, which is the hardest one to go to, Vegas, and Orlando.
No, I won't be going to Chicago.
It's nice and it's a windy city.
I don't care. It's Chicago in the middle of winter. I ain't going.
Uh, oh man, what was I gonna say? But we're that reminds me, we're gonna be there at the AHR Expo. We're gonna do the podcast pavilion, and you're gonna be there all three days, right? Well, are you doing the award show too?
Yeah,
So what day do you plan on getting in?
I think Saturday.
I just booked mine, so I'm gonna go in on Saturday and then leave on Wednesday. But I gotta do some stuff there on Wednesday, so I'm gonna like rush through some things and then go catch my flight.
I'm driving
How far is it?
4.5 hours.
Oh, that's not too bad. From here, I have to drive 4 hours to get to any major city, so I'm used to it.
Yeah,
Because
I'm
I
just hour and a half from Florida.
wait, what? Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, I got you. I wish I could drive, but I'm all the way down in Texas. I got to go up, over, and then around.
Yeah.
Who else is going to the awards show and the expo and everything?
What symposium is he talking about?
I would love to go. The symposium is always in Florida. I assume around Orlando. I don't know where. Oh yeah, because Jake always talks about it. It's Brian Orr's company. Uh,
Hmm.
that's where they have the symposium, I believe. And Brian Orr is the one that puts it together. It's the HVAC school symposium. So that is like an AHR. Well, you'll see when you go. AHR is like crazy. The symposium is like less people, less hectic, and you get to sit down and take or not take classes, but like people will present things, and you get to. It's like a classroom setting. You walk out, and then you get to walk around with like Navac, Field Piece, like all the vendors go. But it's the same week, so like you have to plan out usually that week to be gone.
The same week.
Yeah, like well, Matt, what? Yeah, because they're going to that one. What day does that one fall on? Is it before or after? I'm assuming it's after
Well, AHR
AHR.
is like Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Well, it's probably Thursday and Friday.
Oh, no, I won't be attending that.
They do tickets and everything for that too, but I never get to make it. At some point, that's my goal to go to that one. But
I guess if it's going to be in Orlando, that would be the time to do it.
well, that's what people are saying that they're gonna go because they're all like in the same area. Oh no, it's the 6th through 7th. Isn't that the week before? When is AHR again?
Uh,
Oh, so then it's the Thursday and Friday before. Did he
right.
get something?
No, would. You better leave
Um,
it alone.
no, he's back at it.
Yeah, it's a format. Hey.
So it's a Thursday and Friday before the week before, and then obviously AHR is the next week, Monday through Wednesday. So you really got to plan it out if you're gonna be there for both. But that would be the time to do it because they're in the same city,
Yep.
and the
Right.
Super Bowl is the 9th. Yeah, that's true.
Leave it alone.
Oh, we got Jason going to AHR. That'd be cool.
Dude, I've already got, I know when I go, I'm going to meet people that know me, but I don't know who they are.
Well, you'll know
That
some
already
of them.
happens to me just walking around town. I was in Walmart the other day and somebody came up behind me and said, "Hey, I love your videos." I don't know who this person is.
Um, it is. I had that happen more before. Like I haven't had it happen recently, but you'll know everybody in the chat, all the guys that go. It's weird. The first the first time I went, I didn't have that many subs, but like a couple people ran into me and they're like, "Oh, dude, I love your videos." And it is a weird but cool feeling. But like going to it again, at least I feel like I know everybody now, so it's not as awkward.
Well, some of the people, like in the comments, I recognize their name and conversing with them, but I
The
don't know what
face.
they look like.
Nobody has their face. They're all logos.
Um, so it's going to be quite the experience.
put a face to the voice. What time
What
is it?
time is it going to be? 8:20.
You want to close it out?
Yeah, I'm needing to get
I
to bed
gotta.
because I'm up early.
I. You got work lined up tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm doing an outdoor TXV first thing in the morning.
Outdoor TXV. Okay.
Yeah, it's a heat pump.
Oh, dude, that went over my head. I've never worked on a heat pump, but yeah. So we'll see you all next week. I don't know if we're gonna do anything the week after, but we'll see you all next week, and we'll see you guys at the AHR Expo, and we're gonna close it out later.